Indy NXT by Firestone is back, and it's time to go oval racing. 4 of the final 5 on ovals, 3 of the last 4 to determine a champion and a scholarship winner to help get them to IndyCar. Welcome to the OUTFRONT Showdown, just outside St. Louis, across the Mississippi River. We're at Worldwide Technology Raceway, where, as expected, it is hot, sunny, and 89 degrees ahead of the NTT IndyCar Series coming up later this afternoon. First, it's the future stars of IndyCar. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us with NBC Sports. Kevin Lee and Charlie Kimball. It's been a little while since we have seen these young drivers. The championship seems pretty much firmly in control from Louis Foster. Is that how you see it?
He definitely has one hand on that championship cup, but in talking to him, he still wants to collect wins. He still needs to prove to these IndyCar team owners that he can get in the big cars and go out and win.
And he has taken control, winning 5 times, 5 of the last 7 races. So that is a very significant lead. That's essentially 2 races right there.
It is, because although it's 53 points, max haul in a weekend, you get some points for finishing back in 18th, which is the back of the field today.
So Louis Foster, coming off of a USF Pro 2000 championship 2 years ago, had a really good rookie season. He won 2 races, but he's moved to another category. What's been different this year?
For me, it's the consistency. Last year, when he got a little out of momentum and out of step with himself and his team, he wasn't able to pick up those top 10s, those top 5s. This year, if he couldn't win, he stayed up front and picked up as many points as possible. And having Nolan Siegel move up to the IndyCar Series out of this removed one of his obstacles to the championship.
Louis Foster is not the only Andretti Global driver going well in Indy NXT. Just a few moments ago, Georgia Henneberry caught up with Jamie Chadwick.
Good afternoon, Charlie. Good afternoon, Kevin. Jamie Chadwick is going to roll off second next to her Andretti teammate Louis Foster, who is on the pole. But Jamie, you have had some strong runs this weekend, and we know how important starting position is here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Does that get you fired up for this race?
It does. I mean, starting position is going to be key, but also you can pass here, so it's going to be a long race anyway. But yeah, I'm confident. I think qualifying was really good. Obviously, teammate next to me, so we know we have good cars. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
There's a lot of momentum behind you, especially the fact that it was announced that you will have an NTT IndyCar test. How exciting is this?
Super exciting, and it's kind of, yeah, that's a validation to know that the step up is just there. We'll see how the test goes, but it's great to be doing it with Andretti, and yeah, really looking forward to that, and let's see what it leads to.
Best of luck, Jamie. She's going to roll off second, like I said, but Louis Foster, her teammate, starting on the pole. And Louis told me earlier today, this is an impound race, so they did not get to make any changes post-qualifying. And he feels like that Andretti team really figured out the downforce, which has been ever so important. Charlie and Kevin.
Thank you, George. It's good to have you back with us for the weekend. Really cool news, Charlie, that Jamie gets a chance at an IndyCar, and I like that she wanted to do it at one of the most physical tracks available, Barber Motorsports Park.
And she worked so hard on her physical conditioning. She's really showed this year she can keep up with that car throughout the course of some of these really physical events. The heat of the summer not bothering her like it did last year. She said she knew she needed to get better. She went away, put the work in, and it's paid off this year with a race win at Road America, starting up front here on an oval.
Another one of the Andretti drivers could be a factor today. James Rowe expected to qualify better. He was quick in practice, I think second quick. Only qualified 12th, but we know what he can do on an oval. He won the pole, finished second at Iowa. What I found interesting and learned on Thursday here is that Robert Wickens has been impressed with James Rowe, and he's helping him. And Peter Dempsey, who won one of the greatest races ever, that 4-wide Freedom 100, is his spotter on top of the stand. Kyle Collette, what can he do? He qualifies well, starts up front, still in championship play, but he needs wins. 3rd in the championship right now. Okay, the drivers are strapped in. That means we're just about ready to go. Let's head downstairs trackside.
Started, let's go trackside. Race fans, it's time to fire the engines. Here's your Grand Marshal for the OUTFRONT Showdown, guest of Firestone, Rod Saubre, to give the command.
Drivers, start your engines!
18 young drivers are lined up, ready to go, looking for glory on the top step of the ladder on the way to IndyCar. And here is how they will roll off. Louis Foster on the pole for the 4th time this season in the Copart Novara Technologies car, and his teammate Jamie Chadwick in the Vexed Andretti Global car. And she has been strong on ovals, qualified 2nd at Iowa.
3rd in points, driver in 3rd in qualifying, Kyle Collette. 1 at Mid-Ohio. We'll see how he does on a short oval. Christian Brooks coming out of Santa Clarita, California. His 5th start, every single finish has been in the top 10 so far this year. Great job for the young driver.
Christian Vogel is good on ovals. He was fastest in practice, qualified 5th in the Pelican Energy car, finished 6th at Iowa. And Jacob Abel, also good on ovals, 2nd and 4th last year in the 2 ovals. He will start 6th in the Abel construction car.
Inside of row 4 is actually Callum Hedge there in the 17 car. He has 2 top 5s finished this year, and 8th is Yuvan Sundermoorworthy running inside the top 10 for Abel Motorsports.
Salvador De Alba is going to be in row 5 in the Grupo Indy car. He finished 3rd at Iowa, and that's where Reese Gold is going to line up in the Ticket Clinic car, the outside of row 5.
Row 6 is a couple of drivers, last name Rowe. Miles Rowe had an incident at Iowa, was collected, a little bit of time to recover from that. James Rowe, we talked about, has really come on strong on these short ovals.
Bryce Aaron drives the Jaguar Land Rover of Chesterfield car, finished 8th at Iowa. And 18-year-old Josh Pearson in the Open Context car will start 14th.
And Jordan Missick in 15th. This is his first Indy NXT oval race. He's done a few road and street circuits with Abel Motorsports. Taylor Ferns, her 2nd race. She ran at Iowa for Abel Motorsports as well.
The last row did get to qualify. Jonathan Brown had a transponder issue for the Hover Energy car, and Jack William Miller had a fire in practice, and they were making repairs, so he didn't get to qualify, and they think they can move forward today. All right, it's time to figure out what it's going to take, and Kimball's Keys.
You know, when it comes down to it, these cars have not driven since yesterday in qualifying. They had a Silver Crown race last night. There's a lot of different rubber on the track. You got to go, and that Silver Crown rubber comes in different spots. And if anyone's going to take Louis Foster's hands off that championship cup, it's now or never. They got to go for it and hope it pays off.
Teammates starting side by side on the front row. They will work together. They will be respectful, but wins matter. The practice yesterday looked pretty racy. We might see some action here in this one, and everyone other than Louis Foster must win to stay alive in the championship. Perfectly aligned in 9 rows, 2 by 2. Foster on the inside, Chadwick on the outside, who already has a win this season. Collette, Brooks always up front in row 2, waiting for the green, and they are going to wave it off.
There were cars jumping out of line at the back. It looked like James Rowe got out of line, maybe a little further back, Josh Pearson as well. And that is damage to the 40-car weekend that goes from bad to worse for Jack William Miller. He's broken that front wing. Call on the radio to come pit and change. They will go green this time, so this is going to put him laps down. What a weekend to forget already.
Oh boy, and he's going to start multiple laps down if they do indeed go green. And did he go and just simply get in the back? Tried to get around the outside, but yeah, got into the back of, I think that's probably Taylor Ferns back there.
55 car for Abel Motorsports, yes.
So we may be seeing 17 take the green flag. They'll be able to change the front wing, but how much time will Miller lose? All right, let's reset. Thinking championship, Louis Foster thinking to continue his domination and pad that resume, and championship points lead some more. Let's go from Gateway and Worldwide Technology Raceway. It's Andretti Global, 1-2 right out there with Foster, Chadwick. Collette is going to see a little bit of battle for 3rd, and now it is 3 wide, but Miles Rowe has gone around further back, and we will see caution on the first lap.
No contact for Miles Rowe. He keeps that thing alive. I don't think if he can keep it running. He's stalled now. We'll see if he refires it. And if he's able to get going before they get around here, just like this, he will stay on the lead lap, at the tail end of the lead lap here. He'll go past the pace car. No contact. They were 3 wide ahead of him. He tries to go in, make it 3 wide over the top of Reese Gold. The back end steps out. Does a really nice job keeping on the throttle, keep that rear wheel spinning, keep him from getting to the wall. I don't know how bad his flat spots will be from that spin.
So you're trying to stay in the throttle, you're not locking it down?
So at that point, as far back in the grid, the order as he was, by keeping it in the throttle, he kept the wheels turning to drive him forward off the wall. Otherwise, his momentum would carry him up into that outside safer barrier. But he does come to pit lane now.
So obviously they feel like he's going to need fresh Firestones, and that will cause Miles Rowe to lose the lead lap. Jack William Miller has still not left the pit lane, so we're down to 16 restarting. So that's Miles Rowe will be lap 4.
It's Miles Rowe coming out of pit lane. If he gets going here, I think he's got a bigger problem. There's something else going on with that 99 car, because he was on the lead lap, but I think he's got a bigger problem. Georgia.
Yeah, he does have a bigger problem. The team doesn't know for 100% certainty, but they think the drive shaft is broken on the 99.
What a shame. Miles was collected at Iowa, didn't get really a chance to do his first oval race for very long. I had a nice chat with him on Thursday. As much as he wanted to contend for the championship this year and feels like there were opportunities for better results, he's not all that disappointed that he doesn't have to think about championship and can already start thinking about next year. He really knew he needed 2 years at this level, and that's the plan, to come back to Indy NXT again in 2025.
And pulling that 99 car behind the wall on the back straight. I understand race control's looking at that original start, and the rules are you've got to stay in line. When you pop out like that, even with an accordion, it will draw the eyes and sometimes the ire of race control.
So working lap 5 now of the OUTFRONT Showdown from Worldwide Technology Raceway in Madison, Illinois. But literally less than 10 minutes away from downtown St. Louis, just on the other side of the Mississippi River. All right, we have a driver apparently out of the race along with Miles Rowe. Jack William Miller with Georgia.
Yeah, that's Jack William Miller. We saw him on the start. He's now retired from the race, but I'd like to get your perspective on the original green attempt.
Oh man, it's just been a pretty tough weekend for us in the Haven Go Patterson Dental car. So had a fire in practice, didn't get to qualify, and then we have to start at the back with people that we are a lot quicker than. And then I just think that some of the people back there aren't really used to these starts, and so car in front of me, I think it was Ferns, accelerated and then slammed on the brakes, and I went right into the back of her. So it's how it goes sometimes, but it's unfortunate. I think we were going to go through the field today.
Unfortunate string of events for Jack William Miller. We're going green.
And Louis Foster has a nice jump. Chadwick breaks away a little bit from Collette. Back there in fourth, it's Christian Brooks in a yellow and black car. And side by side further, Jacob Abel will win that battle to get to fifth on Christian Bogle.
And the stewards are going to look at this restart as well. Looked like a car jumped out early. Kyle Collette trying to go the outside of Jamie Chadwick into turn 3.
Chadwick's not ready to give it up yet. They continue side by side. The restart, by the way, under review. Side by side for second. Louis Foster is fine with that. Chadwick and Collette come together hard into the inside retaining wall. Significant contact for one of the championship contenders and another race winner. Both race winners this season. Kyle Collette, Jamie Chadwick out. Good to see Jamie Chadwick climbing out.
That is a big, big contact. Kyle Collette definitely shading to the inside there. Jamie's alongside. Man,
you don't normally see that sort of contact in the straightaway like that.
Yeah, it's strange. It was not a place you would expect to see contact like that.
Still there.
Side by side here through 3 and 4. We're on board with Jamie Chadwick.
It's him. Just you and him.
Open your hands.
So there's tight. Just you and him. Hang on up.
Okay, so if I put my steward hat on, Kevin, I think Caio Collet needs to do a little better job of holding his line and running straight down the straight. It looked like he was shading Jamie to the inside there, and she held her line and ran straight. So you can't do that until you're clear on an oval. I do hope the stewards look at this as well as that restart as well.
Unfortunately for Chadwick, nothing that can be done there. They may try to see if Collet can get back out there and salvage some points. Third in the championship. That matters, and he's got a little cushion for third as well. So maybe it is only the front wing. I heard somebody say toe link, though.
Front toe link, maybe front suspension.
Oh, yeah.
There's a suspension wishbone broken there.
But they still may go ahead and go to work to change that and just turn some laps. And with the pace this is going, what if we lost 4 cars in 2 green flag laps? Less than that?
Yep.
Yeah, the pace is you might finish in the top 5 if you run some laps. We're taking a look at the restart. No action on that. The longer this goes caution, the better it is for Caio Collet. He's losing laps.
But look, the rear suspension as well. That's both left sides. I don't know that they've started work on that left rear yet, have they? And HMD Motorsports won the championship last year. They know how to do it. They know every point matters, but at the same time, that's a lot of damage. Georgia, you're with someone from HMD?
Yeah, absolutely. And as the team goes to work on the 18 car, you got a good look at what the damage was. What have you assessed so far?
Yeah, I'm seeing some upper wishbones, toe links, and the guys are going to work on that. Obviously, the front wing was destroyed. So they're going to keep trying, right? HMD never quits. So we'll keep after it and see what we can get done here.
Did you see the accident? What was your take on it?
I honestly missed it. I was setting out some other stuff. So but from what I hear, they got together and bad stuff happened.
That's AJ Smith. They're going to work on this 18 car.
Well, race control agrees with you, Charlie. Penalty pending on Caio Collet, the 18 car, for avoidable contact and blocking.
For blocking and avoidable contact.
And it has not been a good start to the oval career for Caio Collet because he lost it at Iowa early on. That's when Miles Rowe was collected right behind him, and now this contact that has been deemed his fault. If it doesn't take him out of the race, it certainly took him out of any opportunity to compete. And that's all part of the process, especially for the European drivers that come over. He had no experience on ovals. That is one of the benefits and one of the advantages for the drivers like Jacob Abel and like Louis Foster and Christian Brooks and on down the line that come up through the USF Pro Championships. They at least get one oval race at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park.
And I will say that as a driver, I felt like race control never agreed with me. So at least as a commentator, I'm glad they agree with me today. But you're absolutely right. That American ladder system that has the opportunity to run on ovals, the thing with road courses, if you get it wrong and you spin, a lot of times it doesn't end your day. On an oval, you make a mistake, it puts you in the wall. That's day done. That's a lot of learning that you miss out on for one mistake. On a road course, you can get away with one mistake a couple times. But on an oval, you can't. So that having that experience on an oval is really beneficial to get these drivers up to speed.
So under the second caution here in the early going outside St. Louis, what are those a little deeper in the pack thinking? Let's listen to James Rowe's radio transmissions for the 29 car.
Yeah, get better run, get a better view of what's going on. Pulled the trigger early with Louis, and that helped us out. So we're going to try to do something similar. Just have to make sure we're not completely the yellow line before the green, but that was an awesome job in that restart.
I'm still not 100% certain which Irish driver that is. Was that the spotter, Peter Dempsey, or is that James?
Well, I think the gist of the conversation was we've got a teammate controlling the restart pace. Let me know when he's going to go so that I can go and take advantage, because I think I've got a faster car than Reese Gold.
Okay, that was the driver. Yeah, I couldn't understand the beginning just whether that was an instruction or a request from the driver.
Either way, I think what he's looking towards is to get some teammate help.
Yep. there are a lot of teammates from HMD. They have 8 cars this weekend. Andretti effectively has 5. They're 4 cars. And then Salvador De Alba Jr. runs in the Andretti with Cape Motorsports car.
And look who's come up front here. Look who has snuck his way.
Jacob Abel.
From 6th, couple of good restarts. He went high on that last restart, around the outside into 3, twice to pass a couple cars, and is all ready to go.
And he's not out of the championship. He's a long way back, but he is 2nd. So he's 77 back is a lot different when you only have 1 that you need to have misfortune than if, say, you're 77 back in 5th.
Right. And he's got to shoot a shot. Like I said, it's now or never.
He told me on Thursday, I'm not really thinking championship. I just need wins, and then we'll see where we sort out. You win a race, you win another race. Hey, maybe we get to Nashville Super Speedway, and we are still in play. Ready to go green again here. Single file restart. Christian Brooks, who has been dynamic in his debut midseason in Indy NXT by Firestone, is running in 3rd. Here we go again. Callum Hedge back there in that black car. Side by side with Juven Sundermorthy. They're battling for 4th position. Sundermorthy trying to go around the outside in that turquoise and dark car. They are still hooked together. Hedge has to make a move to the inside as Sundermorthy will squirm a little bit, and he has the position for just a moment and is thinking about Brooks now. That's Abel Motorsports, by the way, in 2nd and 4th.
And a great jump for Louis Foster on this restart, give him some breathing room. He doesn't want to see any more yellows, but they're still pretty racy. Callum Hedge down the inside of Juven Sundermorthy, who's trying to find some momentum on Christian Brooks and Jacob Abel.
They are stacked up 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th is not too far back either with Abel. And now Brooks is going to think about Jacob Abel. He'll go down to the inside. Christian Brooks gets past the veteran Jacob Abel into 2nd. Abel coming right back. Brooks trying to hang on the top line.
Carry that momentum on the high side around the exit of 2. They are side by side into 3.
Abel noses in front and clears. Sundermorthy has a little bit of a run. Callum Hedge back there in 5th. Christian Bogle 6th. Let's watch this again. Back there with Sundermorthy. Was he just diving inside to try to get a run on Brooks and forgot about where Hedge was?
That looked like a big move from the booth and on the track. We'll see what the stewards think of that. He knew he was there because he just cleared him. He had momentum and he knew Brooks was coming up for sure.
Let's check in with Georgia.
Well, not surprised at all that Jacob Abel is making aggressive moves. He told me earlier in this championship fight, he just has nothing to lose, and you're going to see that on the track today. He was disappointed in his qualifying efforts, but he knew they had a fast race car, so expect Jacob Abel to be aggressive in these last 4 races of the season.
6th to 2nd, slipped to 3rd for a moment, but has gotten it back. And Louis Foster is in control right now. Clicking off good laps. His best lap is 1/10 and a half better than anyone else so far.
I mean, there's still 50 laps to go in this race, and these Firestone tires do wear, and especially if you're hard on them, you don't have a great balance. It does wear out in the second half of the race, so you got to take care of your tires a little bit, but a 2-second lead is on a short track is that's going to be hard to overcome.
Now things have settled in just a little bit after 2 early cautions. The constant has been Louis Foster in control of this race. Let's hear from Jamie Chadwick, unfortunately out very early with Georgia.
It's heartbreak for Jamie Chadwick, but she has been released from the IndyCar medical unit. First and foremost, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, obviously reasonable hit, but yeah, I'm fine. So.
Did you get a chance to recount it at all? They're going to play a replay for you right here, but can you just give me your perspective on it?
From my side, I didn't move. I stayed in the middle of the track, and the margins in this championship are so narrow. You know, we race so close, and when we race close and well, it's fine, but obviously there it's just a little bit too close, and yeah, I'm gutted. I think we had a really good car today. Yeah, it would have been really nice to have shown that and got a result, but yeah, it doesn't happen today.
Well, we're certainly glad to see that you're okay. Thanks, Jamie.
Jamie Chadwick got that really significant win for her and for females in motorsport in Road America earlier this year, the first at this level in better than a decade, and had another chance today. Held the pole provisionally most of qualifying yesterday for a good chunk. Louis Foster was the last to go out and got by her, but starting on the front row, certainly a chance for another good result was today. Best battle on the track right now might be for 6. Christian Vogel has proved to be very proficient on ovals, and Salvador de Alba doesn't have a great deal of oval experience, but he's been good. He was good in the USF Pro Championships at Raceway Park, and he finished 3rd at Iowa.
Yeah, I was talking to Matthew Brabham about Salvador de Alba, and he said they thought they really benefit from the Andretti Global partnership, but they felt like ovals was going to be his chance. He felt like he races as well as Louis Foster on the ovals. He just had to get there. They've struggled in qualifying, and so when he qualifies in the back, he can't really show, but they were hoping for maybe a top 5, top 6 finish today, running in 7th. Depending on how the tires wear, he could be in that conversation at the end of this race.
He won here a couple of years ago in USF Pro 2000 and won at Raceway Park last year. So there is some oval success in the background for Salvador de Alba Jr., who is mentored by Michel Jourdain. One time was the youngest winner in IndyCar history, had a lot of success. One of the really good guys in the sport.
Yeah, and this season, Salvador has yet to qualify inside the top 10, except for at Iowa when he was 10. But he has 6 top 10 finishes, so he races really well. His qualifying just puts him a little further back at the starts of these events.
I continue to be impressed by Christian Brooks, running 3rd there in the number 39 Deploy surveillance car. He started the season with some success in USF Pro 2000. Remember, this is a driver that was out of seat. He had a lot of success in the lower ranks, contended for USF 2000 championships, had success in Pro, but had a big crash at St. Pete to start off a season in 22. You got to pay off the crash damage. That's what he had to do the rest of the season. He and his family and his backers won a race in a partial for Peter Dempsey at turn 3 last year, and then was going full-time this year and was in play. Probably not going to win the championship, but running 4th in points, and they found an opportunity when Nolan Siegel exited. Here is a good seat. What the heck? Let's go ahead and go. At one point, they were going to do both championships. He did not do the last round. I don't think he's going to finish the season in Pro 2000, but he has gotten better every week at this level.
Really impressive start. Really impressive for him to come in and learn this championship, and it proves that those feeder series work to the Indy NXT by Firestone Championship, and then even better, the Indy NXT by Firestone Championship works to train drivers for the NTT IndyCar Series.
Christian is 23 years old from Santa Clarita, California, as we see Kyle Collette back out on track, and he is 23 laps down, so it's going to take attrition pretty soon for that.
So they're still pending a penalty from race control on the 18 car. Kyle Collette's back on track after the damage repair. We'll see what that penalty turns out to be, and when that comes down, he'll need to serve it right away.
So one thought would be, if you really want a penalty to have some teeth, giving him a stop and go or a drive through when you're 23 laps down does nothing. Could it be applied to the next race with a grid penalty?
It absolutely could be. They have the opportunity to penalize that. They felt that it was egregious enough. It was both avoidable contact and blocking, a twofer. So I think because it's almost self-serving, he took himself essentially out. They can't penalize him enough to have him finish behind Jamie Chadwick, who he took out alongside him. So he can be hit with a grid penalty when we get to the next race in Portland next weekend.
Louis Foster has stretched his lead beyond 3.5 seconds. Another couple of seconds back to Christian Brooks. There he is in the green and black car. Sundermore, solid in 4th right now. Callum Hedge running in 5th. Callum has had a really good rookie season. He is still just 20 years old from New Zealand, 4th in the championship. It was a slow start to the season. The 18, by the way, is being black flagged. We'll get a reason for that as we are seeing Callum Hedge slide and hang on to it somehow. What a save, and may not lose that many spots. Bogle is going to get by him. De Alba as well, and he'll stay in it.
Callum Hedge, you're my hero. Slide for life like that. Give up 2 spots, 3 spots now.
Whatever, he's not in the wall.
Get back, get to everything right here.
He's rubbering in the high line for the IndyCars. Look at that slide. He gets it sideways. What an incredible fast hand save. Look how fast those white gloves are working for Callum Hedge. He's still turning right and he's coming back to throttle.
So this is just his 2nd oval race. And I talked with him on Thursday because he did really well at Iowa. He finished 4th. I said, how'd you do that? He said, well, I watched last year's race with Christian Rasmussen and his onboard, and I just tried to do what he did. And there's somewhat of an advantage of not having any bad habits, as De Alba is going to be able to get around Bogle there for position and move up to 5th. So he said, I was going to try to do the same thing again. I don't know if we have onboards of Rasmussen saving a crash, but he crashed there, and he's still racing.
He crashed, he just didn't hit anything.
Yeah.
And then a couple laps later, he went side by side through 3 and 4. Maybe he doesn't know what he doesn't know on ovals, but he's sure doing it right at the moment.
So Hedge trying to gather himself. Bryce Aaron right behind him. Josh Pearson in that green and black car as well. And here is De Alba on the charge, working on Brooks now.
I don't know if De Alba was saving tires for the second half of the race, but maybe he's gotten the call. It's time to go.
And Sundermore is up to 3rd, so we missed him, or at least I did, miss him getting around Christian Brooks. So how about Yuvan Sundermore, who came within, 100 yards, 200 yards of a podium at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca, and now is in position for a podium. Yuvan's had a really good first full season this year in Indy NXT.
Yeah, Able Motorsports running 2nd and 3rd here. Maybe not quite the pace of Louis Foster, but that's been a common theme all season long. Louis Foster's got a little bit of extra in the tank. Great job for Jacob Abel and Yuvan Sundermore running 2nd and 3rd here. And De Alba's not letting Christian Brooks off easily here.
So speaking of Able Motorsports, Georgia has the boss.
I was just going to say, Kevin, speaking of Able Motorsports, I have Bill Abel. And first I'd like to talk about Jacob Abel and his run to the front right there. I mean, 6th to 2nd, really early on in the race. Is that just a testament to the hard work that this team has put in for the entire season?
Yeah, he's doing great. We're having a good run. We needed a little bit of luck to go our way this weekend, so hopefully that'll continue. Jacob had a great start. Really, everybody had a great start. Moved up several positions, so yeah, we're kind of in the middle of the race now, so we'll see how things go. But yeah, having 4 cars here this weekend has been a challenge for the team, but I think John has got us in a spot where we're ready for it. We'll see, but right now it feels pretty good.
And I was just going to ask you, this is your first weekend as a 4-car expansion team. Have there been any positives to that as well?
Well, it's all positive. Yeah, I mean, we've got great drivers on board, great families in the paddock with us, so we're excited about that. And I think for us, it's just, a sign of the growth of the team and sort of what we're doing. And John's assembled a great team. For him to be able to go from 2 cars to 4 and not really have a hiccup in terms of people, personnel, engineering, mechanics, it shows a lot, of his depth and the depth of the team. So yeah, it's good. We're hopefully we'll be this strong with 4 cars next year too.
Thanks, Bill. Appreciate it.
And one of those cars, unfortunately, is out. Taylor Ferns. The car was not quite quick enough, so it's still a very new experience for her. Just her 2nd Formula car race. But it has been really impressive what Able Motorsports has been able to do. Built, obviously, for Jacob Abel. But what they've shown, and I think what Juven Sundermordi has done, and others at times too, has shown that this is more than just about Jacob, and it has a future, and is what Bill talked about next year. So I spent some time with Jacob on Thursday. His hope is to get to IndyCar. He's one of many trying to find an opportunity, but if he gets to IndyCar, that's not going to impact things here. They already are well down the road on having at least one seat filled and trying to get to 3 or 4 for next year as well.
And one of the things I've been watching is we go back to this battle for 4th between Christian Brooks and Salvador Rialba. Salvador goes to the outside into 3. That's a long way around with a lot of marbles out there, but he's going to get it done.
Side by side here, this is for 4th. De Alba has the momentum. Can he clear him? Yes, he can.
And Christian Brooks has been trying that high line in 1 and 2. I don't know if he's got too much load into his tires, is really hurting those right side Firestones, but running that extra bit higher. Oh, that was a little bit of a shade of a blocking defense there from De Alba. I don't think Brooks had the momentum to get alongside, but the rules say you can't move in reaction.
Salvador De Alba is one of 4 that have moved forward 5 positions from 9th to 4th. Sundermordi also +5. Same for James Rowe, and same for Jonathan Brown. He's moved up 5 spots. Louis Foster did not need to move up any spots. He started on pole for the 4th time this season. He is trying to win for the 6th time in 8 races and is hoping it stays clean and green. 4 seconds plus is the advantage on Jacob Abel. We've had 2 early cautions. 3 really when you include the aborted start of the race. And the first lap was run under caution. And then in the opening moments, Miles Rowe spun. And then Kyle Collette and Jamie Chadwick came together on the straightaway. Collette was deemed responsible for that. He came back out, was black flagged, but now is back on the track and is 32 laps down. So what we don't know is if the black flag was they determined the repairs weren't done properly or good enough, or if was that the penalty.
Yeah,
I'd be surprised if that was the penalty. So there's a look at what you were talking about a moment ago, Charlie, with Brooks and De Alba.
And De Alba's really quick. He is 2 to 3 tenths quicker than Juven Sundermordi here. He's running him down for the last podium spot. When I was talking to Matthew Bogle, or excuse me, Matthew Brabham, he was talking about the experience Salvador De Alba has and how he races well on ovals. And I think that's showing. He's got a good car under him. It's a partnership between Cape Motorsports and Andretti Global, and they find that really helps their pace when they unload. Having that experience, having that Andretti setup, he's been able to really race well. Qualifying leaves something to be desired for sure. But now he's hunting down a podium.
Louis Foster told me he's been impressed with De Alba. That was before the Iowa weekend that he told me watch out for De Alba. He didn't qualify well, but he moved up in the race and finished 3rd, and same thing here in this one. And we've got a caution, and it is Christian Brooks.
No.
Who is it? It's a green and black car.
It's the 14 car.
Is that Josh Pearson? Okay.
Off in turn 4.
There's the leader going by.
Very slowly.
Yeah.
It's good to hear that radio call. That was a big rearward impact. You can see the crash structure right there in the middle of the screen. Shortened quite a bit. We saw that yesterday.
I just hit my knee really hard on the steering column.
Safety team will get him out. Great to see the AMR safety team right there with him.
Sorry, guys. I turned in too early.
There's the analysis of what happened. In some ways, that's good that you know. I think the scariest would be when you crash on an oval and you don't know why.
Yeah, you don't
lose control. And that happens a lot.
Yep. Yeah. When you're learning in this series, you need to learn those lessons, because you don't get the last 20 laps or so here to learn and continue to learn what the car is going to do. So you need to make sure you learn that lesson from the incident. so it doesn't happen again.
So let's see what happened with Josh Pearson.
Oh, he's down on the curb way early. He's right. His self-analysis was very accurate there. He got down, turned in early, got onto the curb, rear steps out, and he spins up into the safer barrier.
And you heard him say he banged his knee. Good to see he's up and walking, so he'll get that checked out. But after a long break, it gets busy. Indy NXT races again next weekend at Portland. Sunday afternoon at 1:10 Eastern Time. Later today, late afternoon race on the oval, and that is going to be the theme for the Final Five for IndyCar as well. On ovals, including today at the 1.25-mile oval at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Join us on USA and here on Peacock. And if there are ever any weather issues, I know at one point it was raining at Michigan for the Xfinity race and they were delayed. Peacock is always your safety. You know it'll be on Peacock. Otherwise, I would say make sure you're tuned into social media if there ever needs to be a change for anything. Watching us, you already got Peacock, so you're set. 6 p.m. Eastern, green flag, 6:30 tonight. And some fast cars coming from further back. Colton Herta was fast, but crashed in qualifying, so he's starting 5th. Grid penalties for 2 of the championship contenders, Alex Palou and Scott Dixon, starting 16th and 19th.
Do you think that helps Scott Dixon's chance to win? Because he's so good at coming from the back.
I feel like it's the same. So the only thing this changes is everyone has an opportunity now to make up some more positions, and Louis Foster is the second most disappointed person behind Josh Pearson because he had him covered. So what does Jacob Abel do? How aggressive is he going to be on this restart? And beyond that, does he have the pace? You look at outright lap time, it's close, within just under a tenth from fastest lap of the race, Foster to Abel.
The one I'm really going to be watching is back and forth, Salvador Diallo Jr. Can he take advantage of this restart to try and find a way past that 22 Abel Motorsports car in 3rd and see if he can make the move and once again steal a podium from Juven Sundermoor? You talked about the heartbreak at Laguna. Juven's worked so hard, graduating university and trying to get a podium this season and really elevate his program for next year.
A little cleanup here, and we will get going again. And unfortunately, we are down to a dozen cars, so attrition has been a big factor. We've had contact that took out Jack William Miller even before the green flag. Miles Rowe a spin, and that led to a mechanical issue. Jamie Chadwick and Kyle Collette in the 3rd incident together. Josh Pearson is the 4th incident. Ovals at Milwaukee and Nashville Super Speedway to come. It's been a while since I've been to Nashville Super Speedway. Looking forward to that. Let's check in with some radio on the 29 Andretti car with James Rowe.
Just keep an eye on the right front. Somebody come over to pit wall and try and look at my right front. Yeah, they'll look at it as closely as they can. Front pressures are fine. All 3 cars are coming down at the same rate. Okay, but I drove over something that feels a little off.
A little bit of concern over tire pressure there.
So that's what happened to Jacob Abel last week. He had run over debris and didn't know that there was an issue until they went back to green. That's why he had to pit right at a restart. At one point we thought that it may have been some contact, but it was just he could see the tire was going down and had to bail out and lost laps. All right, getting set to go again, and we're going to have 15 remaining here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Foster, Abel, Sundermorthy, DeAlba Jr., Brooks, the top 5. Then Bogle, Rowe, Hedge, Aaron, and Missick in the top 10. Let's go again. And Foster with a great jump, trying to break the draft. Battle back there for 4th. DeAlba Jr. is going to take the low line. Brooks trying to go around the high side. They'll go side by side, and Brooks will charge in front, and DeAlba is trying to hang on to it, and he does.
Talk about fast hands from Salvador DeAlba. Got pinched there, saves it. They're side by side all through the field.
Jordan Missick back there in that yellow car, mixing it up. That is 5th, 6th, and 7th there. How about Callum Hedge, who crashed early and didn't hit anything, and now he slapped the wall. But he's still going. How hard did he hit it? That black 17 car is still in 5th place. He's crashed twice now, and he's in the top 5. Bogle all the way down, almost on the grass. DeAlba
carries the momentum around the outside off 4. Now DeAlba's looking at Callum Hedge, wondering if that car is wounded heading down to turn 1.
That takes some bravery. And he's still on it, and Hedge has maintained 5th place. We've had a lot going on since this restart. Let's first go back and see how DeAlba avoided a crash. There's James Rowe, who got up way high,
wiggling, saving it.
Here comes Missick through.
Carrying that momentum. Short tracks, it's all about momentum. And here, gets high, a little further up. DeAlba Jr. had a wiggle. Everyone's got their hands full here at the end of the race.
And here's Callum Hedge. How big was that slap? That was both right sides.
Both right sides, plus the left side into Christian Bogle.
I'd say Dallara makes a pretty sturdy race car.
You'd think this is a non-contact sport. These guys are proving us otherwise.
Jordan Missick is on the charge. 9th, thinking about 8th in his first oval race at this level. Around the outside, Jordan Missick up to 8th. And Abel Motorsports has 3 in the top 8.
There's DeAlba trying to go the long way around Callum Hedge. He's way high through 4, holding on to it.
Job done, up to 4th, or make that 5th now for DeAlba Jr. But he's thinking about 4th with Christian Brooks, side by side a little further back as Bogle is trying to come back on Missick. That's for 8th. They'll stay hooked up.
And if I'm Callum Hedge, I'm thinking about if my car's going to hold on for 10 laps to go in this OUTFRONT showdown, excuse me.
22-year, make that 26-year-old from Joliet, Illinois. Does a lot of work with the Audubon Country Club. You see that on the side of his car. And not much experience at this level, so this is the best run for Missick so far. And DeAlba Jr. is going to get by Christian Brooks, who has slid up. So that's 4th for DeAlba Jr. Who has managed the Firestones the best? Inside 10 to go. Foster's lead is back up over 2.5 seconds. He looks for his 6th win of the season, all in the last 8 races. Hedge isn't done, despite slapping the wall. He'll try to go around the outside on Brooks. Not this time.
Last time he got that high, he was sideways in 1 and 2. He's still got the momentum on Christian Brooks here.
And Bryce Aaron is right there in the 27 Andretti Global car, ready to pounce. Side by side there. 4th, 5th, Brooks and Hedge. Even at the line. And 7 to go.
There goes Bryce Aaron, thinking he can take advantage of this momentum shift on Callum Hedge, settles back in line.
By the way, the championship would be up to 91 points for Louis Foster. Not clinching it, but going a long way towards that, and he would, I believe, have the opportunity to clinch next weekend in Portland with still 2 remaining. Here comes Aaron again.
Out there, stick with it.
He does not have a lot of oval experience from racing in Europe. to get some extra experience this year. He raced in USF Pro 2000 at Indianapolis Raceway Park.
Don't even.
Great move around the outside of 3 and 4.
Just take it down here.
Aaron will back out, try to get another run. Less than 5 to go for Louis Foster. That's mostly decided, but many other positions are not. Aaron, red and black Andretti car, working on the HMD car of Callum Hedge for 6th. Brooks trying to hang on to 5th.
Brooks with a little bit of breathing room. And further up, Yuvan Sundermore, Salvador Dialba chasing him down. A little bit of a gap to Christian Brooks. Breathing room for Callum, from Callum Hedge for Brooks. And then Bryce Aaron trying to make the move around Callum Hedge here. Has not cracked the puzzle yet.
These positions back here important up front for Sundermore. He is looking for his first podium. We are about 2.5 laps away from the checkered flag. There's the leader. There's the gap. It's a third of a straightaway or more on Jacob Abel. A gap back to Sundermore in third. D'Alba Jr. still has a chance of that. 2 remaining at Gateway. Top 4 settled in. Not so much after that. And Callum Hedge is coming back again on Christian Brooks, who is trying to maintain his run of top 5s. Christian Brooks finishes 8th, 7th, 5th, and 5th, trying to continue that momentum. Side by side, white flag for the leader, Louis Foster. 1 to go for Foster. And back there for 5th, they almost touch. They have 1 to go for 5th. Hedge, dark car on the outside. Brooks on the low side. They are hooked together, looking for a top 5, and Bryce Aaron is back there lurking. Meanwhile, on the straightaway, final corner for Louis Foster. The domination continues. That's 6 of the last 8. Foster takes even bigger control of the championship. Coming on second is Jacob Abel. Side by side back there for 5th.
You got it right there, checkered flag.
Hedge gets 5th. It's 6th, the side-by-side battle, and Bryce Aaron got it. So Brooks lost a couple of spots on the last lap, and Bryce Aaron, in his second Indy NXT oval, comes home in 6th. Bogle with a good run in 8th. Jordan Missick, his best result in 9th in his limited schedule this year.
If tonight's IndyCar race is half as good as that Indy NXT last 15 laps, it's going to be a barn burner. Great job, these guys, side by side, wheel to wheel, through 1, through 2, high, low, everywhere looking to pass. The only guy who didn't have any drama, and it was exactly what he wanted, Louis Foster, flag to flag.
You take him out of this one, and this would have been a barn burner. Jacob Abel was pretty much in control of second, but he gave that up for a little while after he climbed. But third on back was wild. Here are the unofficial results. First podium for Yuvan Sundermore. A couple of 4th place finishes this season, and a 2nd, 3rd, and 9th for Abel Motorsports comes into play. We talk so much about the success of Andretti and HMD. Abel Motorsports is getting into the game.
Some drivers with some issues further back. Didn't quite have the pace, consistency. Josh Pearson, Kyle Collette having incidents. Taylor Fern's a little problem with that handling car for her. Jamie Chadwick involved in the incident with Kyle Collette. Miles Rowe at the start, and Jack Miller before we even went green.
So Michael Andretti already down there to greet his young protege. There's interest in the IndyCar paddock for this young man for next year. He is a step closer to having some extra budget and a scholarship to bring with him. Louis Foster was not blazing out of the gates, but he has taken control. 6 wins in the last 8 races, 8 in his young Indy NXT career in less than 2 seasons. That's starting to move him up the career chart.
We talked about one hand on the trophy. Now it feels like 1.5, Kevin.
Louis Foster is now plus 91 in the championship. With 3 to go, Foster has gotten it done again in St. Louis.
It was a dominating performance from Louis Foster. He led every lap. Congratulations in order by his team. He knew he had a fast race car. He knew Andretti had it figured out. He just had to get it done. And with all the uncertainty of that race, one thing stayed consistent, and that was that Louis took those checkered flags first. There was a caution with 18 laps to go. How did you re-strategize under that caution to keep the lead?
Yeah, I think we had a really good car today. Obviously, it's a shame Jamie wasn't able to be up there with me today. I think we would have both probably finished 1-2 that race. You know, Andretti gave us a great car. Yeah, I built a really strong gap at the start, and then once I realized that my pace is really strong, we just backed up massively. I was just massively tire saving kind of halfway through the race, and then when the caution came out, it wasn't the best thing in the world, but I knew we had a good car and I knew we'd pull away again.
He had the confidence all weekend long. That is Louis Foster, victorious once again with the Indy NXT by Firestone.
Louis Foster is so mature. He just turned 21 a couple of weeks ago. This young man might be a future star in IndyCar. Here's how the championship stands out right now. Jacob Abel finishes second, was fantastic, but still lost some ground. Let's hear from him now.
Yeah, 6th to 2nd for Jacob Abel today. You told me you were going to be aggressive, but we just didn't know how aggressive. How do you feel like you maximized that race car today?
Yeah, I think we, fully maximized it today. I had a really strong start, and then everything I gained got taken back, and I had to go do it again. But yeah, still was able to work my way up there, and yeah, the team has done a great job. Especially Yuvan getting his first podium as well. So super happy with that. I think that's about as much as it had in it today, but yeah, feel pretty good.
Nothing to lose for Jacob Abel in this championship fight, and he maximized every second of it today.
Certainly best in class. Maybe different circumstances he has something for Foster, but he was hooked up today. That's a fun race, Charlie.
Great racing all the way through the field, wheel to wheel. Some incidents, unfortunately, for drivers, but great learning experience.
Final road course of the season coming up next weekend in Portland for both IndyCar and Indy NXT. We'll see you there. For Georgia Henneberry, Charlie Kimball, I'm Kevin Lee. Congrats again to Louis Foster. We'll see you in a bit for IndyCar.